also gives you a great place where you can focus on your self-care, your mental care, and give yourself credit for doing this whenever you are. Again, reminding you that these foundations, these gentle movements, that's what really helps recovery. Sometimes when we think about core and pelvic floor, when we get the okay to start, we go from not moving much mindfully into, okay, let's do crunches, let's do planks. And this is one thing that I'm happy to discover, and I'm happy I'm doing it at this stage in my life. Jess, welcome to another video of my postpartum recovery. I am on week 2 of my healing and journey. And this video is great if you're anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 to 4, or at any time when you are ready to start with a little bit of gentle and mindful movement and breathing. So in weeks 1 through 3, very simply we focused on breathing, getting in position more on our sides, on our back, a little bit just getting in tune with our core and pelvic floor a little bit, just mindfully. So these exercises are actually going to build off of the previous video, so it's really great that you can hop in at any point. I do want to mention, not only are we going to be sort of picking up from certain exercises from the first video, that this is a video you are choosing and movement and exercises you are choosing to do when you are comfortably ready. Now, you don't necessarily have to wait until week 6 to begin, but these are movements, like I was saying before in the previous video, movements that you may already be familiar with doing. You may be starting to walk a little bit more, lift, balance, twist. So we want to just give the body time to recover, and this also gives you a great place where you can focus on your self-care, your mental care, and give yourself credit for doing this whenever you are ready. There is sometimes I feel like a pressure that we need to get back into such extreme movement, and we're maybe expecting ourselves to get back or our bodies to bounce back. But these slower, more mindful, gentle movement and the breathing actually really helps with that recovery that is needed, so we can pick up in where we left off in terms of maybe our physical strength, or maybe a goal that we may want to work on when we have that clearance to begin a little bit more core training. So today, again, we're keeping it very simple. The exercises are going to build off of the previous video, and it will be a great kind of warm up and lead up into it. You don't necessarily have to have equipment. We'll be on the floor for most of this, but if you have a nice, soft, cushiony pillow, it would be perfect, because we're going to be starting to work with a little bit of engagement in the inner thigh area, and then just those deep core muscles in a very gentle way. So you can also do this without any equipment, but I just grabbed this from my bed, just a soft pillow, something very cushiony, something that just gives us a little bit of awareness that we're going to be holding and working on with this pillow using our inner thighs. So we'll begin in just a comfortable seated position. If, depending on the type of delivery that you've had, if you've had a C-section, if we're still recovering from a vaginal birth, any sort of opening, if that is feeling like a little bit of a challenge, or we're not familiar and comfortable with being there yet, you can start seated with legs extended. You can also begin seated in a chair. And let's just start with some mindful deep breaths. We're going to bring the hands to the belly, and we'll let the belly expand and then draw in. Inhales and exhales. And trying not to force too much of an opening or closing or expansion or drawing in, just what we're feeling comfortable with today. Giving yourself time for this healing process. try and relax the shoulders. And working on a little bit of upright posture is really great. We're doing, like I said, probably some lifting if we are doing a lot of feeding, nursing. We want to try and open up in the chest and shoulders because it's easy to kind of like cave in a little bit. Good. And just know that you're doing something wonderful for your body. Appreciating all that your body has done for you during this preparation, birth, and giving life. Good. So we're going to start with just a little bit of side bending, adding on to a twist. So if you can, just extending the legs, working on posture, working on getting up these nice muscles in the ribs, in the upper waist area, into the back. Shoulders are relaxed here. So we're just going to start with some side bending, over to the right and over to the left, naturally bringing in some deep breaths. So I'll talk as we are going along in the video a little bit here, again reminding you to do what feels comfortable. These movements are really just great at any point. Again, nothing vigorous, nothing too extreme, but it's giving a nice lift, nice opening, some movements that we can get back into now that we are not pregnant. But also, if we've been doing a lot of sitting, laying down, which we should be, it's also nice to balance that out with a little bit of stretch here. All right. So adding on to this, we're going to come on up with the right arm, inhale, and then exhale. So we have a side bend, and then we're gonna come on over and just a little bit of a rotation twist. And then we're gonna repeat that just a few more times. Right arm side bending to the left, twisting to the right. So some opening and twisting. We're starting with the upper body, which is again great for a lot of the movements that we are doing as we are holding our newborns, feeding, lifting. Good. And after that last twist, we'll switch sides. Inhale up, we have a nice side bend, and then twist. So just focusing on the upper body, not too much of the lower body opening and twisting just yet. But if you feel like you want to take your movements a little bit deeper, bigger, or if you're moving on your own, that's okay too. It's always good to check in with your healthcare providers. I'm always here as a resource. But you are the driver of this vehicle of your body. Twisting, very good. Beautifully done here. All right, so we're gonna make our way down to the back. We're gonna grab a hold of that pillow. We're gonna place between the inner thighs. We just have a little mindful engagement here. Arms can be by your sides or hands on the belly. And we're just gonna take a nice deep breath. Inhale, press into the feet, and exhale, squeeze just into the pillow here. So the inner thighs, definitely muscles center the body. So we're inhaling, exhaling, squeezing in. So good, you can continue this here. And we're drawing up muscles of the pelvic floor from the inner thighs. Little pelvic tilt here, so kind of pressing the low back, the sacrum, the hips down. This also may give a little bit of relief if we're feeling it in the low back from labor, just from positioning, from sitting and recovering. And this is just the very start of a bridge. So today we're gonna keep it mindful. I'm not gonna do any bridges just yet, but this is the foundation here. Again, reminding you that these foundations, these gentle movements, really, that's what really helps recovery. Sometimes when we think about core and pelvic floor, when we get the okay to start, we go from not moving much mindfully into, okay, let's do crunches, let's do planks. And this is one thing that I'm happy to discover, and I'm happy I'm doing it at this stage in my postpartum. I didn't necessarily do that with my first, and it really helps doing these exercises. Very good. Let's release that down, and we'll just place the pillow along by your side, or you can actually rest it on your head. And this may engage the upper abs just a tiny bit, just so we have a little bit of support for the head. All right, so we'll take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. We'll begin just a little bit of drawing in the knees here. Inhale, exhale. So in the previous video, we did some of these movements, but now I just want to put an emphasis on the pelvic tilt and then until here. So I'm really tilting pelvis, drawing in and tucking and drawing in. And then I'm maybe creating a little bit of space for the low back if that feels comfortable. Inhale and exhale. So when we were pregnant, again, it was what was comfortable for you, but a lot of times, we're focusing on not so much about crunching or extending through the spine. Just because we had our bellies there, we weren't necessarily on our backs. So this is just very gentle, sort of like cat and cow's spine flexes and extends. So just adding the pelvic tilt, lifting up. Good, release that down. And then we'll just step the feet out a little hip distance apart, and let's just shake out the hip. So this is a very, very gentle, tiny bit of opening here. Basic start of a twist, good. Then we're gonna find our way over to one side. It's nice to have that pillow here. And making sure you're comfortable in the upper body. All right. So let's focus here on the center, mindful deep breath. Sometimes it's nice to just put the hand on the belly. Inhale, exhale. So belly expands, belly draws in. So we're gonna start with a little bit of hip movement and opening twist for the upper body. So the arm can come down, and we're just gonna trace the leg up the body a little bit, just so we have a nice stretch for the hip and the glutes. And then we're just gonna drop back to stack, and let's just open the arm. So we're not necessarily gonna open up, twist. If it feels okay, you can just bring your chest and focus and gaze up toward the ceiling. Place the arm down and inhale, drawing in. Exhale, opening up. So this twist is just coming from the upper body, nothing opening in the lower body just yet. And reminding you probably are doing movements like this, not so much with repetition and this mindful focus, but getting in and out of the bed, reaching for things. So again, drawing in here. Good, one more time. Excellent, using the strength of the upper body to press on up, and then we'll swing it on over to the other side. Take your time. It's important to set yourself up comfortably. I'm wearing still comfortable clothes. I've got room for the chest for breastfeeding and for the hips and for the belly. A couple deep breaths here. Again, whatever makes you feel comfortable. We may just be in bed doing this too. No force, no pressure, we're just here. Good. And we'll start to add some movement, drawing the knee in, up, and just opening up. Observing differences on the right and on the left side. Inhales and exhales. Chest can get so tight sometimes, and as much as I'm just loving having time to snuggle up with my newborn after feeds, sometimes you just need an opening in the chest and shoulders. We're taking on a different type of endurance in the upper back, in the ribs. Good. Inhales and exhales. Nicely top here, inviting you to use the pillow here for the inner thighs. And as we set up, just a little bit of work for the center, not so much of flexion, but some extension. So we'll squeeze into the pillow here if you have it. If not, you can imagine it's there. Zip up the belly. And we're just gonna let the belly drop. Take your gaze a little bit forward. Inhale, exhale. So we'll take it neutral spine. Inhale and exhale, drop the belly. So we're still continuing as the belly is recovering, relaxing here. Inhale, draw in. Now, if you do feel like you want to do more of a rounded spine and go for that cat and cow, you can. But it is nice to just kind of take it simple, one piece at a time. So I'm going from dropping the belly into cow and then neutral spine here. So if it feels okay and you want to round and you want to draw in those muscles a little bit more, you can. Sometimes it's nice to just kind of isolate and find that neutral spine. That will help with posture. Spread through the fingers. Good, one more time. Good, drawing in. All right, so here we're just gonna hinge back a tiny bit and then hinge forward. So kind of setting up the foundations for plank, but we are not there yet, right? But we're building a little bit of strength, doing a little bit of weight bearing. It's because we do need that arm strength. Now this is a very gentle and supportive way. Also, our fingers, our wrists, things just may get a little bit tight throughout holding positions for a while. We probably are lifting baby in the carrier. We may be lifting a little bit of, things around the house, groceries. Maybe we're getting out and about. We have the stroller, we have our little ones, good, and then releasing down. We're gonna roll on up. And just the very start of a nice opening in the chest and shoulders. Let's bring the hands a little back. Let's press the hips forward, looking up where the wall and ceiling meet. A little bit of core support and balance. Now, if it feels okay, we're just gonna hinge back and reach the arms forward and lift. Now, this is probably more of an advanced exercise in this video. So if this is too much and we just want to, go into the camel pose and release, you can. We're sort of hinging back, and again, this might be something that we're doing already, coming down to pick up something. These are functional exercises that we might even not be realizing that we are doing. And check in with your recovery with the movement. If the movement is too much and you're healing, definitely go at your pace. Excellent job. And then we're just going to release out. And then I want to start just a little bit of some standing work, but more of, again, mindful approach and movement. So standing about hip distance apart, we'll bring the hands to the hips, and we're just going to shift the weight forward and back without locking into the knees. So we may be doing a lot of standing. We may be doing a lot of not a lot of standing, but we may have to stand for some periods of time when we are rocking baby to sleep. We are in the process of, changing diaper, getting ready. It may feel like a lot of time on our feet. And just getting comfortable, especially if we've been in bed and laying down a lot. Good, and then just a little shift from side to side. These exercises and next videos will sort of build off of each other, but this is the sort of start to shifting of weight. This helps, sorry, my head's cut off a little bit. This helps too with, simple things such as showering, if we are doing dishes, just a little bit of, getting back into the routine. This will help balance, it'll help get that core strength, more intrinsic core muscles, but this will also help reduce any if we're feeling dizzy, any signs of just feeling a little bit off balance. Good. And then the last thing, if this is too advanced, if this is too much up and down, you can take it slow or take it halfway, but we're just going to start to round down, and you can take this halfway. You can go a little bit lower if you'd like and roll up. Reminding you, if this is too much, listen to your body. But keeping a relaxed belly here, and reminding you we may be in this position already. So we're not squatting, but this just gives a little bit of release into the back. We may have to, come down to pick up something. So starting with the bend, from the hip, rounding and rolling up. Keeping mindful, deep breath one more time. Again, choosing where to move comfortably and what exercises are good for you. And then rolling on up. Beautifully done. We're going to come down to the floor just to close and thank yourself for doing a little bit of movement here. Again, these videos do build off of one another. You can choose where you feel comfortable to start. These are just wonderful ways to get back in tune in your body at any point. So you could even be past week 6 of the postpartum healing and you want to just move more internally, move more, and even do these exercises on your own or just in any different order. And if you're moving organically, some of these movements just may come to you naturally. But as long as you're focused on your breathing and you're appreciating your body, you're appreciating everything that it's done for you, and you're giving yourself credit for being here and now, that's what's most important. Making sure we're replenishing, we have water there, anything for hydration, nourishing our body with wonderful nutrient-dense foods, and just again, having that positive outlook and carving the time out for yourself. That's all of what this is about, and just enjoying the time being a mom and having that bond and time, and then having this energy that you can restore and replenish so you can take on being strong for yourself and strong for your family. We'll just conclude with a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale, drawing in what feels good. Exhale, release what's no longer serving you. Another deep breath. Exhale, releasing. And last time, nice deep breath, expanding, filling with happiness, joy, and releasing any tension, stress. And thank yourself for joining me. I'm always here if you need anytime, and thank you for tuning in and viewing my postpartum healing and journey. And I'm here with you through this experience. I'm Jess, and I hope to see you on these videos on YouTube soon. All right, take care now.